I see some people filtering in, so we'll just get started. And as
Yep.
people pop in, it'll be great. Thanks so much to those who are able to join us for our Women in Analytics community open house. We're excited to take some time to kind of walk through the platform with you, talk a little bit about the different benefits of being a part of the platform. We'll discuss both the free and the paid version so that you have a good understanding of the difference between the two. We'll also share like how you can sign up for the standard as well. Katie is here to talk a little bit about corporate membership and some of those benefits. And then we'll get through some opportunities to get involved. And then we'll field any questions that you may have as well. So as things come up, please feel free to put those in the Q&A. We will, unless they're urgent, we will wait till the end to get to those. But please feel free to throw them in there as you think of them. That way you don't forget. So we'll do intros between Katie and I first, and then we'll just jump right into it. I want to be respectful of everyone's time. So I'm Kelsey. I'm the CEO of Women in Analytics. I've been with the organization for about 2 years at this point. Had a heavy hand in the conference planning aspect, and am really excited to continue to develop and enhance what we have going on within the Women in Analytics community platform with the help of Katie. So, Katie, feel free to introduce yourself as well.
Thank you, Kelsey. I'm Katie Robert. I am the Corporate Community Manager for Women in Analytics. I've been working with Women in Analytics for about 3 to 4 years. I started off as a speaker, and then I did a workshop, and then I worked with the advocate team. And now I am working directly with Kelsey as the Corporate Community Manager and overall comic relief.
Awesome. Thanks, Katie. Perfect. So we are going to go ahead and jump right in. First things first, again, if you have questions around anything that we're describing or things that you're hoping to see or questions about Women in Analytics or Data Connect conference in general, please throw those in the Q&A. Unless they are urgent and pertinent to what we're talking about, we'll take all questions at the end. This is going to be recorded as well. So if you need a recap of the things that we've discussed or would like to explore some of the things that we've talked through again, you do have the ability to do so. You can also, if you have questions that you think of later, you can connect with either of us on LinkedIn. We also have a chat feature within the community platform. You can reach out to either of us via that as well. Or we do have a membership email, which is membership@womeninanalytics.com. We've got a team monitoring that as well. So if you have questions, those are 3 good alternative options to get and connect with us. Perfect. So first things first, I would love to just give an overview of Women in Analytics and kind of what we do. And then we'll jump into just the free version of the the free version of the platform. And then we'll jump into the paid version. So for those who are unfamiliar with Women in Analytics, we were founded in 2016 with a mission to bring visibility to women and non-binary folks making an impact in the data and analytics space. We do this a couple of ways, one of which being our community. We host a variety of webinars, a variety of lots of content going on. We also offer partnerships with some other folks who are hosting content, so you can find information around other things that are applicable to women in analytics in the community platform as well, which we'll touch on some of those things. We also offer, some career resources and all sorts of things that we'll touch base on as we get through the community, so I won't bore you now. But one of the other kind of initiatives of ours is the Data Connect conference. So if you've not heard of the Data Connect conference, we do host that every year in Columbus, Ohio. This year we hit about 1,300 attendees, which is phenomenal. We had 55 women and non-binary speakers as well. And then in addition, we provide a lot of support and coaching to those speakers too. So we offer free speaker coaching, all of that good stuff. We'll get into some other ways on some other information on how you can get involved and learn a little bit about those initiatives as we get through the platform. But just wanted to give you kind of an overview if this is your first time attending one of our events. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we will start walking through some of the benefits of the free membership. And Katie, I just want to verify that you can see our free member page.
Yep, absolutely.
Perfect. Awesome. So the Women in Analytics community page, once you get logged in, this is what you should see. If you are not yet a member of Women in Analytics, you can go to community.womeninanalytics.com. It'll take you through a sign up process. Very quick, very easy. We do ask two pretty basic questions, one of which is like what are you hoping to get out of being a part of the community and why do you want to join? And the other one is how you heard of us. It's that simple. We just want to know a little bit about you and what your hope is within the platform. So once you get into those questions, your application's been reviewed and you get logged in, this is what you should see. We have curated a couple of items to try to make it really easy to start getting involved. Women in Analytics, and as well as many communities out there, rely heavily on participation and activity and all of that good stuff. So you're really truly going to get out of this what you put into it, and we want to make that as easy as possible for you to do. So first things first is we do have this little checklist here on the right hand side. That is a place where you can start to just really get involved. These are quick little items. You can click into each one of them. You can check them off. As you complete them, it'll basically, tally how far you've gotten. There's lots of options here. And once you've made it through this checklist, you will be well on your way to being able to efficiently contribute to the community, start having connections, all of that good stuff. So first things first there. A couple of other items. I'm not going to click into each one of these, but just wanted to give a brief overview because these are going to be just like quick little items that you can click on. The feed is going to be an aggregated list of everything that's going on within all of the pages that you're a part of. This will make more sense as we get into some of these other elements, but I just wanted to establish what that feed is. So everything that you are a part of in the community platform will show up as one kind of aggregated list in the feed. The discovery tab is just another fun way of looking at it. It just formats it a little bit differently. So I actually will click on that, at least so you can see kind of what that looks like, assuming my computer gets it together here. I have a new one on the way shortly, so bear with me. Or maybe we'll skip that part. Yeah, it may load for us, but generally the discovery tab is just a different way of looking at the feed. It highlights and categorizes based on event, members near you, where those like interactive items are coming from, all of that good stuff. So just reformatted version of the feed. We do also have this members tab as well. You can see all who's currently online. You can also, maybe I'll try clicking into that and see if that works. Amazing. You can also sort like who's nearest you, who's new to the community. If you're looking to get in contact with a Women in Analytics team member, we're the hosts. You can also see who's online now. So you have lots of options on how you want to sort folks. We have had folks use this as a near you to create connections in their area. So you can really do a lot with the members tab as well. And then in the events section, again, this is going to be an aggregated list of all of the events that are happening in the groups that you're a part of. So lots of things going on right now, including our community open house. And then at the bottom, they will be tagged with the space that event is being hosted out of, if that makes sense. So these are all home base, which is the free version, I guess, of our community platform, which means everyone who's in the home base, which is every member, has access to these events. We do not have a standard membership event scheduled at the moment, but if we did, it would say standard member here. We are in the midst of like exploring some other opportunities, including a potential student membership, that kind of thing. If we had events that were specific to those folks, those tags would show up here as well. So that's kind of an overview of the couple of ways to kind of like kickstart getting involved in the Women in Analytics community. As a free member, you also have some other options here. We did just launch a Welcome to WIA there's like little how-to here as well. So you can start in the Welcome to the Women in Analytics community. We've got it set up as kind of a course. So you'll learn a little bit about the community itself, ways to conduct yourself, opportunities you have as a member, upgrading to be a standard member, etc. You can go through and just explore this, like, what is Women in Analytics lesson, if you will. So there are a couple of different things here, including some information that we're going to cover today. So if you need a recap, this is a great place to go. We do have some plans to add some additional items to this, more specifically around a walkthrough of the free options and a walkthrough around the paid perks as well. So those things are coming soon, but wanted to share this at the moment. As a free member, you also have access to our Women in Analytics career advocacy area. What that entails is we have a partnership with Birchworks. What they do is they provide a variety of different positions that are available. Birchworks, to give you some background, I guess I should start with that part, is a data and analytics recruiting firm. So they specialize in partnering with organizations who are interested in hiring folks who are focused in the data and analytics space. So it's a natural partnership for us. They provide us with at least 3 new positions every month that we share with you. We also have a dedicated, basically, career advocate that helps us collaborate directly with Birchworks. Her information is here, her email is here. She is also Katie. We've got lots of K names in the Women in Analytics leadership team. So Katie it can help with, career search items, all of that good stuff. I won't get too more in depth into this, but know that it is available to you as a free member. In addition to this Birchworks specific page here, we also have a job board newsletter. This tab just takes you to a sign up, so nothing too crazy here. This weekly job board newsletter does come out every Thursday. It includes our current Birchworks positions, plus some additional positions that are being provided by our sponsors, partners. Us, we just are working on hiring a few positions as well. So if you're interested in staying in the loop on those things, you have access to that. Lastly, we have a call for speakers page as well. This is one of the ways that I kind of talked about being able to get involved at the beginning. So we are currently looking for speakers for the Data Connect conference. We also have the marketing and analytics and data science one here as well. We had, I think there's another one down here too. The Measure Summit. So this tab is fairly new for us. So if you are part of another organization that's looking for speakers, or you host a conference that's looking for speakers, or whatever you need, feel free. You can post that call for speakers in this page. If you are a speaker who's looking for speaker opportunities, please come check the opportunities out that are on this page as well. So those are the opportunities you have and the things that you're able to get involved with from a free perspective. We did just launch as well interest groups today, which we are really excited about. If you had the opportunity to be a part of the Women in Analytics community before it upgraded into what it is today, we used to have interest groups on that page as well. It was one of my favorite parts of the Women in Analytics community, just because it gave folks an opportunity to really hone in on making connections in the interests and spaces that they were in. So we are really excited to bring these interest groups back. You do, as a free member, have access to these interest groups. So I am also going to walk through that briefly. Let me see here. So you are, once you log in, we just launched these today, so you won't have anything under interest groups at the moment. You'll have this kind of explore button here, which will take you to this page. And we've got, a couple of different categories available. So that being said, if we're missing something, we would also love to hear from you in that aspect as well. We feel pretty good about having like most things covered, but things are always changing. Technology is crazy. So if there is something we're missing, we would love to hear about it. You can join one, you can join all, you can join as many of these as you would like. If you have multiple interests, like we would love to have you be a part of multiple interest groups. For the sake of just walking through things today, I'm going to go into the data viz and storytelling one. Basically, you just click on join us and it'll add it to your interest groups tab here. You will only get notifications for those interest groups that you're a part of. So if you're interested in connecting with folks in those interest groups, please join those. Inside each interest group, there are a couple of different ways that you can communicate. We've got a chat here, which you can see we've just got a little chat down at the bottom. We also have a content tab. Anyone can share anything here. So if you are part of this data viz and storytelling interest group and you've just read an amazing article, or you have a book you'd like to share, or you just listened to a podcast, or there's an event coming up that you want to share with your fellow data viz and storytelling folks, please feel free to post that here. Just in that top section, you can add images, you can do a poll, hashtags, emojis, you can create an article. You have really endless options on what you can share with those folks in that group. And then, of course, every single one of these groups has this exact same kind of setup there as well. So, for example, we just had Kate from Datacated who spoke at our Data Connect conference event. I think her book came out in December potentially. So I just wanted to provide a couple of examples here, asking, has anyone had an opportunity to read this? And then here's a link to her book, and here's a link to the podcast that she recorded with us. We have a data viz challenge coming up with one of our community partners. And what better place to post a data viz challenge than in the data viz page? And then I also wanted to kick off each and every one of these groups with a fun little pun. So feel free, once you have selected your interest groups, to comment on those. Just a fun way to start getting the conversation going. Am I missing anything, Katie? I feel like that is all of our free offerings at the moment. We've got a couple of other links down here if you're interested in exploring some other elements of Data Connect and Women in Analytics. But in terms of what's specifically on the community page, I think that pretty well connects all of and I already am getting some notifications about people joining interest groups. So that's amazing. Thank you, everyone. Anything else I can think of, Katie, that we're missing from the free section of the community?
No, not from the free section. I mean, I'll just reiterate, this will be sort of the mantra, is you get out of it what you put into it. And so we definitely encourage responding to posts, answering questions, asking your own questions. The big thing is don't be shy. As Kelsey mentioned, we really wanted to create this space where women and those who identify as women and non-binary can really have a space to talk about more of the technical, more of the AI and the data. I myself am a woman in tech, and I've run into a lot of obstacles trying to get speaking opportunities, trying to be taken seriously. And I've never had that experience with the women in analytics community. And it's a very empowering community that really tries to find resources to help other women figure out their own path. So I'm really excited for all the things that we have going on.
Sorry, if you can hear my notifications, that's everyone joining interest groups, which is great. It's a great problem to have. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to kind of swap gears here. We have talked a lot about what there is to gain from being a free member in the Women in Analytics community. We also have some additional perks for our paid members. I would love to start with just recapping some of the things that we've talked about that free members have access to. The feed, interest groups, the career advocacy, the walkthrough videos, and I think that's it. Yeah. All of the, and of course our free events. So any of our webinars or any of our free content you'll have access to. And we do post those things on the Women in Analytics community platform. So you'll be well informed on those things when they happen. What I would like to do next is to kind of go through all of the additional opportunities that you have as a paid member. Katie, can you verify that I am?
You are showing your desktop screen.
Oh, well, that's not what we want.
Which is way more organized than I thought it would be, by the way.
I know it's hilarious. My desktop does not match my brain, I don't think. Okay.
So we're looking at your profile now, Kelsey.
Okay, perfect. So as a paid member, you will have access to everything that a free member does. You'll also have access to a couple of additional items, one of which being on-demand videos. So we do, let me see if I can just click all the way into it. We do offer recorded content for all of our conferences, all of our webinars, any of our events like this. We've got lots of things going on in terms of content that you have access to as a paid member. So for example, we just wrapped up the 2023 Data Connect conference. Most of these are available, not tutorials yet, so you'll get a little sneak peek at something that's blocked. However, most of these things are available to you already as a paid member. We do provide recordings to every single element of our conference content for all the way back to 2018, which is crazy. So that is something you have access to as a paid member. In addition, we also offer mentorship. We are working on refining some of those items before we roll out a new cohort in mentorship, but you will have access to mentorship as well. We also, something I forgot to mention in on-demand videos, we do offer a mini tutorial series, which is a walkthrough of, a tool or a concept. We have a handful of dedicated women in analytics, speakers and community members who love to put these things together. So just kind of a little bit of an insight into some of the mini tutorials that we posted in the past. We usually do them in 2 parts. Those are available live. We host those in a little bit more of an intimate session. So they are only available to paid folks, which means that there aren't quite as many people involved. You have an opportunity to ask questions directly to the person who's presenting, and you get to really work alongside those people as they're putting projects together, and get a better grasp on some of the tools and concepts that they're teaching, and be able to have a little bit more of an intimate experience. So that's another benefit of the standard membership, in addition to all the things that you have access to as a paid member. So just to recap those things, you have everything that you have access to as a free member, plus you have the ability to check out any of the on-demand videos, including conference content all the way back to 2018. And then we also offer mentorship as well. Again, we are working on revamping that a little bit. However, that is launching again soon, and standard members will have access to that mentorship experience. Is there anything else, Katie, that you can think of that I'm missing?
No, I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah, it is. It truly is. We do also offer a couple of events that are exclusively for standard members. For example, we are hosting, let me see if I can just go to events here. We are hosting a new series called Inspiring Paths. Our first 2 with Jake Berry and Celia Wanderley will be available to everyone within the platform. And then we have a few coming up that are only available to standard members. So this is a great example of something I was trying to display earlier, is that if there are, things that are happening in other groups that you're involved in, those events will be tagged with those items, so you know which ones are exclusive and which ones aren't. Yeah, it is a lot of stuff, which is why I feel like I'm forgetting something. And then, we're always trying to think of new ways to engage folks and add new things to the community platform as well. So awesome. Katie, anything else that you can think of?
No, I mean, I think it's a good segue into talking about corporate membership.
Love it.
So corporate membership is a recap of everything that you get as a free member, everything that you get as a standard member. But the difference with a corporate membership is you get your own personal corporate community manager. In that case, that's me. I'm your liaison to everything women in analytics. And so corporate members typically consist of a company that is looking to create a space for their team members within the women in analytics community. Um, the benefit of doing that versus them creating their own space is that it's a lot less noisy and the team members can focus specifically on, typically it's a lot of professional development, it's a lot of um, peer review, so sharing your work with the other peers that you wouldn't necessarily be able to do within your own corporate space. And you get access to everything that the free members get, everything that the standard members get, but then also corporate members have the ability to stand up their own private events. And so one of the questions we got recently from one of our corporate members was, well, why wouldn't I just do events within my own, company? Why would I bring it to women in analytics? And the answer is because we're going to help do all of the logistics. We have access to a larger pool of speakers and teachers and educators and mentors that you may not have solely in your own company. And so partnering with us to do those events is really going to open the door to even more education and professional development. Um, Corporate members get access to all of the on-demand videos and then creating their own resource library within their own corporate spaces, sharing their own documents. The other thing is that with having your own corporate space, you get your own set of curated content shared. So a lot of time in communities, we'll see people sharing articles. As Kelsey mentioned, we have all of the interest groups. And then the benefit of having a corporate membership is as part of the kickoff, we get an understanding of what your team's goals are, what your corporate interests are, and then we work to curate content specifically tailored to your corporation that would be beneficial to your corporate members. We typically start with about 5 members, but we've had requests to go all the way up to 15 to 20 members. It really depends on the size of your organization. The other nice benefit is that it's an opportunity to bring together members in your organization that wouldn't otherwise have a chance to connect with each other. They work in different divisions, they work in different teams, and this takes them outside of that environment into a more neutral environment where they can really connect with each other and learn more about what the other one is doing on the premise of shared interest. So I think those are the overall benefits of corporate membership.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
obviously some discounts associated with the DataNet conference and so on and so forth that go directly to that corporation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think to your point, like, our community is very centered around building connection and building, uh, you know, collaborating in theory. So I think that that's another benefit of being involved, not only as a corporation, but as an individual as well. It's just access to folks who can, teach you and learn from you and help propel you into your next career move. So awesome, Katie. Thanks so much for talking a little bit about the corporate membership. I would love to touch on just a couple of opportunities to get involved within the women in analytics space. And then I've seen a couple of questions come through. If you think of anything else while we're wrapping up these last kind of few points, please feel free to put those in there. We did discuss briefly the Call for Speakers tab, which is a great opportunity to start getting involved, whether you're looking for speakers or you are a speaker. That's, I think, kind of step one. We also just want to reiterate that regularly engaging on the platform is one of the most helpful things you can do for the women in analytics community, sharing your knowledge, asking questions, answering questions. Again, our whole MO is truly connecting folks who can help one another and uplifting each other. To really just asking questions, answering questions, getting involved with others who are already on the platform. And then in addition, anything that comes up from our end from a volunteer perspective or advocate opportunities, or opportunities within the Women in Analytics team. We've got a couple of different, conference planning committees, and we've got an analytics, group and all sorts of folks who help keep this ship afloat. And openings do come up every once in a while. And the best way to kind of stay in the loop on what our needs are and how you can get involved is through the community platform. Anytime we need something, that's kind of our first go-to. Truly, is we want folks who are already familiar and already engaged and already involved and know a little bit about women in analytics, and so those opportunities really come to you first if you're on the platform. And again, I know I mentioned very briefly our mentorship program. We're making a few tweaks to that before we roll out the next group, but we're always looking for mentors. So if you are interested in mentoring and teaching and getting involved in that capacity, we would love to hear from you. Again, those opportunities are coming up slowly but surely, and we're working on just making a few tweaks before we roll out the next session. So we've got a couple of questions. We've got a little bit of time for questions. And then if we wrap up early, that's great as well. Question one is, will the recording of this webinar be available to me as a paid member? Yes, we will provide this to everyone. You don't have to be a paid member to rewatch this. But to your point, like, there are lots of other things going on in the on-demand video section that you can view as well. That is going to be more like technical content and career development content. Stuff like this, we do try to make available to everyone, just to make sure that we're getting the word out. And then, are there WIA chapters in other regions? I'm interested in Wisconsin region. At this moment, we don't have chapters in other regions. We are still a small but growing community, and at the moment are just offering like kind of one global community and I think that is what differentiates us from some of the other communities that are out there, is just the collaboration that our community is offering. And folks outside of your region absolutely have value and things to share, and you have things to learn from them, and vice versa. So at this time, we don't quite have regions available. However, I do think that we fill that gap with trying to partner with other communities and other events that are happening to be able to provide a variety to everyone. And then also the recordings as well. So if something doesn't line up from timing perspective, you do have the ability to kind of go back through and view those things on your own terms.
Kelsey, did you want to talk a little bit about, you had your first inaugural DCC West conference last year?
Oh, we did. You're right. So while we don't have different versions per se of the Women in Analytics community, we are working on expanding our conference efforts. So last March, as some background, our Data Connect conference has traditionally been hosted in Columbus, Ohio every year towards the end of July. This past March, we tested out a smaller version of our event in Portland, and it went really well. We are really excited to be locking in our next one, hopefully at the end of March 2024. Out west, we have not quite nailed it down yet, but it is coming. This is the first time I'm saying it out loud also, so if you are joining, you have some insight that others don't. But yeah, that was really successful. There is a potential for things like that to pop up in the future as well. So trying to make our content, our speakers, and what we're offering as a whole available to more folks is really important to us. We just want to do it organically, and really that's an effort to just preserve quality and integrity in terms of we want to be able to offer highly technical content from women and non-binary folks in the space, and we're not really willing to jeopardize that content and that integrity just to grow. So while it would be amazing to have more going on, that's kind of where we're at the moment. but we're excited to be hosting another DCC West event next year. So stay tuned on those details.
What I would say to that, for those who are interested, the best way to shape the community is to get involved with the community, and that's through volunteering. That's through being an advocate, and that was the path that I took. I've found a lot of value in being a member in the community, and anyone who knows me knows I'm very opinionated. I have a lot of thoughts, and I want to do things. I don't take action. And the best way for me to do that in this particular community was to volunteer, was to join the advocates group to help shape what the culture was going to be within the community. So, for example, to take that question of do you have different chapters, that's a great suggestion. And I think that bringing that to the table as an advocate and helping to push that forward is a way that you would see that kind of initiative happen. So there's ways to get involved. The other thing about getting involved too, from a professional development standpoint, is you may be working at a company that doesn't offer a lot of these types of opportunities, and having women in analytics on your resume, even just as a volunteer, as an advocate, looks really great on your LinkedIn profile. And it's a really great way to test out different skill sets. It's a way to network and meet people you wouldn't otherwise meet, to make connections. So I do highly recommend looking at all of the different opportunities, especially at the conferences, even if it's really just shepherding people in and out of a room. If you've never been to a conference, the person who maintains order in the room is the person who gets talked to the most. There's a lot of small talk. There's a lot of, is this the right room? And it's just a really easy way to practice some of those skills that you maybe wouldn't necessarily get to. Maybe you're an introvert like me, and it's just a really, people are coming up to you and asking questions versus you having to seek them out in a networking event. So there's a lot of ways to think about how being a member and getting involved is beneficial to you as well, like in your career and your professional development.
Absolutely. Thanks for that sentiment, Katie. I appreciate it. Um, Perfect. Yeah, I we're slowly creeping on time. We have answered all of the questions that came in so far. While we're wrapping up, if anyone else has any questions, please feel free to put those in the Q&A. We did get one last one around the link to join the community page. I did type it back. I'm not confident that everyone else can see it, so I will verbalize it. It is community.womeninaanalytics.com. I think Katie did put it in the chat as well at the beginning of the session. And again, we'll make this video available to everyone. Once you're on the platform, there are a couple of other more specific walkthrough videos as well. We're going to continue to add to that database and add, perks and benefits of being a part of the community as well. So we hope to see you there. And if you have any questions in the meantime, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'd be happy to chat with you and meet and discuss your thoughts and all of that good stuff. So thanks so much, everyone. Thanks, Katie, for helping out. I appreciate it. And enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Thanks.